Well, hello. How are you today?
Oh, pretty good. Thanks for inviting me back.
Can you mind introducing yourself, please?
Yeah, for sure. I'm Dade McCurdy. I am an auto technician, as well as on the side, I do street racing as well as like some drag racing events around town.
Great. So, today's topic is a specific language. So, is there a specific language that is used in the motorsport industry?
Yeah, there's definitely a sort of lingo that goes on around people in the community. It kind of depends on if you're doing like more motorsports or more illegal activities. So like, my more side of it with the street racing, talks about going on the highway and doing things like 40 rolls for pink slips or, something like that.
So, you said pink slips. Can you explain what that means to everybody?
Yeah, so it's pink slips is essentially just it's the ownership of your car. And so whenever you are super confident that you can beat someone in a street race, it's kind of like a big thing amongst the high rollers of the car community to race each other for their own cars, so that whoever the winner is actually leaves with both vehicles, and the loser leaves walking home.
And where do you race? Like just anywhere, or how does this go?
For legal reasons, Mexico. But otherwise, it's just kind of wherever has good traction, as well as kind of wherever is free of police intervention.
Okay. And you said in Mexico. Is that just like how does that work out?
So it's a big thing especially with recording videos of doing illegal activities online. I'm sure you've seen videos of people speeding on the highway going, hundreds of miles an hour through traffic. And always in the comments, you'll either see in the comments or as well just in the actual description of the videos, it'll say filmed in Mexico, and that's just kind of like a legal block. Also kind of a joke at this point,
You also said a 20 roll, I believe, or what did you say? Can you explain what that means, or what
Yeah,
does a roll mean?
so it's just kind of like for drag racing, you can do different types. So cars that, for say are all-wheel drive and have the engine moving all four wheels at once, will want to do things like standing starts where you just go from a stop, versus people like with two-wheel drive cars or cars that go really high speeds or super high horsepower cars will do rolls on the highway, meaning that they'll start from somewhere like 20, 40, 60 miles an hour, and they'll go to however to determine whose car is the fastest.
Okay. So is there any more terms that are just obnoxious in this like car world?
Yeah, there's a meme culture around it. It's an activity that's done mostly by the youth, and so like one example would be whenever someone buys, let's say, a turbo. If they want to go super cheap, they can get one shipped from China. And like a lot of Chinese metal works, it's not the highest quality. So people like to call them kind of meme names, such as like a ching chang whirly thing is an example of that. And it just kind of refers to any sort of turbo, or as well these things like ricers, which is just kind of like, I guess, a way of roasting someone in the car community, like for say having bad taste, or making their car have upgrades that aren't really necessary to performance in any way.
Great. So I'm actually just curious and looked some stuff up, and I heard a lot of gapplebees. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah. So so that's another kind of meme within the racing community. This one actually does have to do with like roll racing, like I mentioned before, or just drag racing in general. And so basically gapping someone means that you are racing them and you are beating them to the point where there's at minimum a full car length in between you and them by the time you hit your final speed. And so because of this, people have kind of made spin-offs, and so you'll see videos on like Instagram where someone is getting absolutely destroyed in a race. And so the one who's winning will probably say something like, "Oh, I took them to Gapplebee's," or I gave them the full Gapplebee's menu. just meaning that you beat them in the race.
So you're saying that they relate Applebee's to like the restaurant Applebee's?
Yeah,
Because they took them there.
Yeah, not necessarily that they took them to the restaurant, but it is a play on words with the franchise.
Okay, well, great. Well, thank you for explaining all that stuff, that cool stuff today.
Of course.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.